So you have a good extension and a pretty good rotation on both sides. Head is mostly level in the water. As you turn to breathe, you can see you come up slightly, or your head raises slightly. It's not the biggest problem in the world, but when you do that, your hips will drop just slightly. So over time, in a long swim, that little bit of motion makes a difference. So you want to keep that head kind of level as much as possible. We were talking about your kick earlier. You're doing a straight leg kick, so what you're going to want to work on is having a little more snap or bend through your knee, and that'll help quite a bit. Now you're doing a full reach forward, and you're pulling most or all the way through. Those are good things. So I think when we go to the underwater, you're going to see the main parts for you to work on. It's got to do with the catch or the angle of your arms as you pull through the water. And it's easier to talk about when you see it actually underwater rather than looking at it from above water. So good extension, good rotation, a little bit of head bobbing up and down, and straight leg kick, and then underwater. So left arm crossing over just slightly. Your hands are going pretty much right to the center line, but not just that left arm crossing over a bit. Right arm looks good on the reach forward and extension. Alright, so what you can see here is a bit of the up and down that's going on with your head and torso. So if you recall, we talked about smoothing that out as much as possible. That'll help with your streamline. So that's a streamline issue. And then at the end of the video, I have freeze frames of your strokes. But looking at your arms and what they're doing, that left arm is doing what I would call a straight arm pull. So there's no high elbow catch going on. So your arm is essentially one angle, upper arm, forearm. The problem with that is that that first third of the stroke really just pushes water down. It doesn't do a whole bunch to move you forward. The right arm there is a combo of a little bit of the straight arm, but also an elbow slip. So when you see it in slow-mo or see it with the freeze frame, you'll see that your elbow sort of leads the stroke backwards, meaning that your forearm angle hasn't gone up and down or vertical relative to the bottom of the pool. And that's where you create all your leverage and grip. So those are your sort of main underwater issues as far as swim technique or pulling technique. Now here you can see some of the, where your hands are going right to the center line. The line you're pulling back is fine, but what I'd like to see is that your hands are more in front of your shoulder as opposed to in front of your head when you start the stroke. Working on smoothing out head while you're breathing. Oh, that looks good. So this may just be something you need to think about, during the workout in the main set. As your effort increases, don't get into a rhythm where your head comes up and down. You just got to keep that level. Still a little bit here. Not bad though. This looks better. So working on the head position again here. So this is a lot smoother than the first round. Good extension. Head is still going up and down a little bit towards the end here. We discussed that. So you may find that as you get fatigued, that'll happen. You just have to think about it, remind yourself. So on this one, I asked you to look forward sometimes to see where your hands are going. So you don't want to actually bring your head out of the water, but that's why your head's coming up here. But you can look within the water, see where your hand enters and where it extends to. The idea being your hand stays in front of your shoulder, doesn't go in front of your head. Get an angle on it here. This is just thinking about left arm extension point again. So this is good. Had you skip a few breaths to get a good view on it. And you were asking about arm recovery just now. So your recovery is pretty good. You're not swinging too wide. This looks better if you compare this to the beginning of the lesson here. Much better. So when you're watching this drill from the deck like I am, if you can see the hand and forearm sort of disappear from view, that means they've angled down towards the bottom of the pool, which is what you would like to see. And you're seeing that on some to most of your strokes here, which is really good. So that means your hand and forearm are going vertical to the bottom of the pool. You're getting the leverage that you'd like to get out of the stroke. So that pretty good here too, so you're getting it. Very good. This also, as you figured out, forces you to breathe on your opposite side, which is a good skill to have, even if you don't use it that often. Very good. So this is working on catch-up drill. Good extension, and then thinking about the catch as much as you can. Good. As you practice this drill more often, you'll be able to increase the tempo slightly. So, doing a good job here with the catch-up drill. The key with this is extension, part one, and then trying to work on the catch, part two. If you find that it's tough to work on both at the same time, you break it up. You say, okay, this one I'm really going to extend and reach forward as well as I can, and the next time I'm going to get that high elbow catch as well as I can. I like this one, the one-arm drill, like we talked about, fist drill. So that was good. So here we're fist drill, working on catching the water as well as you can with the forearms essentially. The other thing the fist drill does is when you get your hands back, you realize just how much so this is just trying to get a good high elbow catch. Not trying to think about everything else, but you're doing good here. Good reach forward.
So that left arm, still a bit of a straight arm pull. I can see that from up here. You're getting a beginning of the catch right at the beginning, so you can see this if you watch it in slow motion. And the right arm was doing a fairly good job of it. So yeah, that's something to keep.
So here, sort of breakdown of the stroke. The right arm enters, extends forward, that's fine. And then look at the elbow and the forearm angle as you come back here. So this is the beginning of an elbow kind of slipping, or elbow leading the stroke back. What I'm concerned with is the angle of the forearm and hand, and it just never really gets to a vertical position until you're past the midpoint of the stroke. Alright, so elbow still in front or still going back towards the body. So that right arm you're going to want to do a good bit of thinking about keeping the elbow up, getting the internal shoulder rotation. Now left arm, extension, that's fine. Rotation maybe could be a little better on that side. And then that forearm and upper arm are sort of in one line here. So this is a straight arm pull. This is better than the right arm technique. So straight arm is going to be better than an elbow slip. However, you'd still want to move towards a high elbow as much as is physically possible. Some of it can be flexibility, so you got to work on stretching, and then just practice, lots of drills. Hope that helped.